start. Well, good morning everybody. My name's Arry and welcome to the Dirty Club, or if you like, weathering. But you may have noticed this one, I like really grotty rolling stock. The grottier the better. And I like to work from photographs, and I've got a few on here taken in America. There's also a load of British stuff. Sorry. Okay. I thought they were going to provide a microphone. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, I'll try and speak a bit louder. Okay. We'll start with the hardware. I don't know if anyone's familiar with what you need to do airbrushing. You need a compressor. One a little bit bigger than this is better. This is a little bit on the wee side, but it'll do the job. I recommend an air filter to take out any debris that the compressor puts down the pipeline before you put the air into your very expensive airbrush. A regulator and a pressure gauge so you can adjust the pressure to the flow that you want. Okay. Oh, and something to connect it all together. Okay, materials. We have a variety. I use cameos a lot. Also, these from the wargaming people are great for doing fine details. This is my magic thinners. Everybody uses it in their car. It's screen wash. No chemicals other than what's goes in your car, and it doesn't smell. Well, it does smell, but it usually smells quite nice. Now, when we come to doing some of the detailing and rusting, two ways of doing it: with hairspray and salt. But we'll get to that later. Right, spray guns. This was one of my first ones, about 50 years old. Still works. A little bit primitive. Then we go up the range. Single action, so you just press the button, spray comes out, you adjust it on this little nozzle. Then we get, how much do you want to spend on an airbrush? This one is about £200 now, I believe. Middle range, about 120. But my favourites are these. When they stop working, you throw them away. £16. So you don't need to spend a lot of money. So you go to the internet and you look for people who do nails. And that's what that one is. Same as this. It does the job exactly the same as the £200 one. So there's your choices, really. So we spent a fortune on a compressor, on a spray gun, and then the Chinese come out and they come up with this. You don't need any of that when it goes in. That is the whole thing in your hand. A compressor, an airbrush, a regulator, and all the pipes, all in one. It'll run for about 20 minutes before you need to recharge it. So for small little jobs where you don't want to get all the equipment out, that is ideal. Absolutely perfect for the job.
How much is one left?
For about £30. Sorry?
How do you recharge it?
From your laptop or from a plug. Just plug it in. That's it. Plug it into your laptop. So we'll plug it into your phone line. Internet, eBay. Yeah. They're cheap and cheerful from China. You know. Sorry?
Does that have a specific name type?
No. If you look under nail brush, nail,
Right,
I usually go to the beauty section on eBay and find those.
Is that single action or double action?
No, it's double action. Double action, so you got, this one is lovely and comfortable. The other ones have got the button on the top, the same as those. And I'm trying to get one of those with that on, but they're very expensive. But that, you got your trigger, and then you've got your adjustment here as well. Exactly the same as those. So if you're only just starting out, and you're not sure, and you don't want to spend that much money on that, get one of those.
Regulate the airbrush.
You don't need to.
Huh?
That 15 psi, it's regulated for you.
Right.
So you don't need to worry about pressure. When it stops, the battery's flat. But I'm going to experiment with a power pack plugged in and see how much longer it will last. So if you're plugged into a power pack, you've got a massive supply of power. Okay, right. So, what I didn't add, the stand to hold your gun. So if you've got paint in it, you put it down, it's all falling out. And the other thing, it's not compulsory, but it's useful. For cleaning your gun, you stick it in there and you blow everything into the jar. There's a little filter so nothing comes out. Not essential. Do it into a paper cup, you know, just the same, put a towel over the top. It works fine. Our thinners.
You just use it neat.
Yes, it's got to be the concentrated one.
Yeah.
Because the other one's just mainly water. So you want the concentrated one. Right, a couple of safety things. If anyone has got any breathing problems, I would recommend a mask. Again, that's up to yourselves. You need tissues, and I find these useful. I only ever use one, usually on my left hand, because that's the one I hold the model with. So, you get a size that fits and doesn't rip when you put on. It's helpful. Right, so we shall proceed with some spraying. This one I did as a practice the other day at home, just to get myself back. I haven't done any spraying for about 6 months, so I usually do batch spraying, so I get maybe 5 or 6 to do at the same time, and I'll go through the whole lot. Normally they've got the frame and the wheels and everything else underneath as well, but having to travel light, they came just as they are. So I start with a light colour, so we're going to start with this light colour. Coffee stirrers. The cheapest way of getting a stirrer, go to McDonald's, get a handful. Go to the coffee shop over here, get a handful. I'm sure they won't mind. So, these are great. So, I'm going to squeeze it, pull a bit of paint up, and I've made a mess of the cloth already. Oh, they're going to shout at me. Right. So we've got that. And our thinners. About 50-50.
I assume that's only for acrylic paint, not enamel.
Yeah, enamels you would have to use the proper thinners. I just find that I only use enamels now for one thing, and that's for painting steel wheels. Because acrylic doesn't stick to steel wheels very well. And I find the smell and the cleaning up afterwards just takes forever. Let's see if I can just turn some paint up. I did warn them. Right, compressor on. I might take a walk about the table. So, we've got our paint in the airbrush, give it a bit of a stir up. Now you see that, how you like custom. Right, so as you can see, I'm on a predominantly American rolling stock. And American dirt is quite sandy usually, so we need to put a stripe, two stripes at the end. That's the dirt from the wheels, just to spread up. And then a little bit on there from the wheels. Not too much. I'm trying to hold back today, so I don't want to Right.
What pressure are you running now?
This is about 12 to 15. On this gauge, it's not as accurate. I would be able to use this one, but the pressure is not strong enough to close the valve, so I can't use my regulators. So I've got to use this one. And when you stop spraying, it goes up to maximum, which I don't want. Anyway, the closer you are, the finer the spray, or the narrower spray. So you can get really close. On the yellow, it's not showing up very well. So we'll do a bit on here. Right. On the end, you want two little lines. Two little lines there and across. It's coming out there. And two stripes roughly in line where the wheels are. I wish I had my own equipment. There you go. Okay. Now we want a bit of dirt around there. Good. Sorry, I've got too much pressure on the wheels. It's just nuts. Because the pressure is building up and I stop spraying, it's putting a big bit of paint out, which I don't really want. Right. So we've done with the light colour, now we're going to add a bit of darker earth. We'll give it a white, don't clean it too much because we're going to go now to a darker colour, so you don't have to worry too much about cleaning. Then a bit of a stir. Thinners, we don't need so much because this one has already been thinned. I always try and make a habit of putting lids on things that have a habit of knocking things over. Right, so that's there. Get rid of the paint that was in there originally until the new colour comes through, and then we'll put a bit of dark in there. Right, now we can start adding some dirt in the edges. Where all the dirt's going to catch. Again, a little bit. This should show up better on this one now. We can do a little bit more on the top. We tend to get dirt and rust on all these bridges. Let gravity take the paint down. Always try and work from top to bottom so that we're now starting to get a bit of dirt on the sides. Okay. We'll have a go at brand new Dodd tapole wagon. We're going to now mess around with. Right. Right, we got rid of all the paint out of there now. I just basically just brushing, spraying it on and empty and spray. That saves cleaning. Now, let's give it a clean. That's the screen washing and spray bottle, so it's. And now we just get rid of that in there. You can see there's nothing coming out, it's all going in the jar. Should be. An old paintbrush does a good job. And that's it. That should be nice and clean. I'm going to wipe out. Just to make sure, put a cloth over the end, watch the brush and it blows it back up and will blow anything out of the spray gun. That's not bad. That's pretty clean. So, we want to do some rust. Now, I have two methods of doing rust. I've actually got three. Use oil paints, which is my favourite. It takes about 6 weeks because you've got to let it dry. Right, I've never tried this. This is a new one. We're going to try burnt umber and these hobby paints, which are really cheap. Maybe not. Should do. No, I've got the same colour here. Red, brown. What I'm looking for is full red. That's the one I want. This is usually my base rust colour. This I know is ready to use. Right. So, we all know these steel wagons get very rusty quite quickly. So I'll put Right, I'm going to dry this quickly. This is not essential, but it's very helpful, especially with cold. It just speeds things up. Also, if you're doing any spraying in winter, I usually put that on, warm my paint up, warm the airbrush up as well. Helps everything flow nicer. So, we've done that, we've got rid of that one. I'm going to try this again. I need a little bit more paint. Not quite enough in there. A bit light on it. So now rust comes in many colours, as we know. I'll be doing more detailed weathering downstairs using brushes and these other paints as well. But really that's pretty well the basics. Any questions?
When you clean the airbrush again,
Yeah.
you just squirt it into that pot, you take it apart, clean the needle and the headset.
No, I never take it apart.
You just spray through it.
I just spray through it till it's gone. If there's anything stubborn, I use acetone. You can buy a little jar from the chemist, or you go to a beauty shop and you buy a litre for less than the price of the chemist. I think Sally, the beauty wholesalers, sell a litre for a couple of pounds. But obviously that I would do outside. You know. To finish that off, I would use, which I don't know where I put it, a clear lacquer spray. So I'll go and do that outside. Just give it a top coat of clear lacquer. But that is quite robust. It will stay on for plenty of time. I mean, I started weathering mine 20 years ago, and the lacquer and the weathering is still on the original.
But does it dry inside your air?
That will be dry in a few minutes.
No, but when you...
Not when you're working, no.
No, so when you sprayed it and put it down, it's not any it's still in your airbrush nozzle. Does that dry off?
It can do, it can do.
But will the screen wash clear it
Yeah,
away?
but what I do is, in the screen wash, clean it out with the brush on the front and then spray it. And go, turn that off. But yeah,
Do you take the nozzle off?
no, no. I never strip the guns. I've learned from experience, you start stripping guns, it starts to get expensive. So you damage the needle or you damage the jet. I mean, the jet in that one, that's an Iwata. It's a lovely spray gun, but I hate it. Because you take it apart or you screw the needle in just a fraction too hard. Scrap, it won't work. So then you got to buy a new needle and seat, which is more expensive than that. That's what I say. Until you're an expert, I would go for those every time. And it's probably one of my favourite guns. I go to that one first before I pick that one up.
You use that one?
That one?
Yeah.
Yes. I've used that one on my 5-inch loco. I just wanted to experiment. I hadn't used it before. So I thought, oh, let's try a bit of weathering on my big loco. So I was down at my workshop, haven't got a compressor there, so I thought, I'll take that. I just did a bit of smoke effect on the roof, and it was fine, absolutely perfect. No difference between that and that. Yeah. The salt is for weathering, for getting rust chips, or chip paint with rust right underneath. It's a bit of a long-winded process, So I'll be doing that downstairs. Yeah, along with this. This is another. It's quite long-winded, as you have to seal everything, then put this on, let it dry, then paint the top coat, and then scrub it. So it can be messy as well. But it's good. It does give you a nice effect. But this one gives you a really good effect, and it's got to be coarse salt. They use it through the grinder. Yeah. But again, it's messy. Yeah. Okay.
Where are them acrylics from in the big bottle?
Alright, thank you.
The acrylics behind it?
Oh, these,
Yeah, where'd you get them from?
Hobbycraft. Any
Hobbycraft.
Hobbycraft type shops.
Yeah.
You know, a little high street that does crafty work. They sell them as well. Most of these came back from the States with me on a trip. I think they were about 50 cents a pot. I think they're about £2. Yeah, but they're good. This one I would normally use with a brush. I would put, if I'm doing a heavy rusting, I would put a rust patch on, probably with a sponge. Let it dry, then go down with the next colour, and then this would be my final colour, bright orange, just pinpricks basically, because that's the newest rust. The older it is, the darker it is. Yeah. But when you're getting around to do it, that is the best friend you can have. Work from a photograph. You know, it's the best friend you can have. I mean, there's a gondola, which is this on there, and you think, oh, look at that, it's all battered up. I took the gas torch to that on Wednesday. Distort the sides. But when I find the right photograph, there's one in there with the ends about, and every panel is pushed out. Yeah. So there's a prototype for everything. You know. Yeah.
Good, thank you, Arry.
Okay,
For the
pleasure.
thought there.
Yeah.
I've never used acrylics. I've always used them.
Yeah. Oh, I hate enamels. I hate them. Take forever to clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they smell.
Tammy are nice, aren't they? I have
Yeah.
sprayed some Tammy in my
Yeah.
I did like the way the Tammy went through.
Yeah. It's the plastic kit that people got me onto acrylics, because they all use these little tubes of paint. You know, and they're all acrylic, and they do a brilliant job.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'll be
thank you.
downstairs, D1, if you want to come have a closer look,
Yeah.
even have a go. You know, I don't mind you destroying my rolling stock.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, pleasure. Okay.